Hey there, my fellow intellectuals. How are you doing tonight? Kyle here with another video. And last week was spring break for me. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to go to a nice beach like this because I was trying to stay safe because of COVID regulations. But because it was spring break, I actually remembered a particular spring break, which I would say would go down as probably the worst spring break I ever had in school ever. And it was during graduate school. It was 3 years ago. And because it was spring break last week, it kind of reminded me, like, oh yeah, I had the worst break of my life, like exactly 3 years ago during this time. So I figured, might as well tell you guys about it. Why not? So let's go back in time to like spring 2018. I was a young, up and coming first year graduate student, just full of enthusiasm and excitement, and was about to run into the reality that was my qualifying exam that was at the start of the spring quarter that year. So at UC Irvine, when I was a first year graduate student, the qualifying exam would be held on the first 3 days of spring quarter. So essentially, after spring break, the first 3 days, you're back. It is like 4 tests you have to take that decide your fate in the program, essentially. Though I will say you're allowed to take the test up to 3 times. But this was my first attempt, very scary, and the exam consisted of 4 tests. So day 1 was 90 minutes of classical mechanics, immediately followed after by 90 minutes of statistical mechanics, and then the day would end. The next day would be electrodynamics for 3 hours, and then the day after that would be quantum mechanics for 4 hours. So yeah, that's essentially what was waiting us at the end of our spring break that year. And of course, since it was spring break, it followed the winter quarters. So imagine this sequence: taking 3 finals, then grading the final exam for another class that you TA for, and then during spring break, you just study all day, every day, from the morning to the night. Essentially just studying all day for those 4 subjects that you have to take the qualifying exam for, and hoping that you will pass and that you will get to stay in the program. And then you actually take that exam immediately after. So yeah, that was essentially my spring break that year. And it was really depressing because I went home to see my family during spring break, because I usually do that. And not every graduate student did that. A lot of us, I would say, stayed in Irvine because they just didn't want to be distracted at home and wanted to get as much studying as they could for the exam, which I can understand. But I went home. My family was very understanding that I had to take this test that decided my fate. And so essentially I would just wake up, study, eat with them, go back to study, eat with them again, study, sleep, repeat the cycle for the next couple of days before I went back to Irvine. So yeah, that was my spring break in 2018. It was absolutely the worst spring break ever. I feel kind of jealous of the new students at UC Irvine, the new graduate students at UC Irvine, because that format of the qualifying exam is being transitioned out. So yeah, kids these days have it so easy, as I say from my position as a veteran graduate student. So yeah, that was my worst spring break ever, guys. I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope it was fairly entertaining. My pain and my sorrow. I hope it was entertaining for you guys. And make sure to like, comment, add, and subscribe, and leave a comment below saying, what was your worst spring break ever in terms of school. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in another video. Take it easy.